Today I'm going to talk about GoHighLevel, and especially from a special point of view, which is why you should not try to sell as a software as a service solution. GoHighLevel has taken the market by storm by its unique selling proposition, which is basically pulling every single online marketing tool under one roof, and so you don't have to use Zapier or Make.com to put all other softwares together. And eventually, if you build a really complex ecosystem, there is a lot of point of failure and it's gonna be a little bit messy. So it's a really good angle to approach this, and no one else has actually done that before. It changes the game for also the entrepreneurial level usage, so if you use it for yourself, and especially for agency users, because you can just create so many sub-accounts within GoHighLevel, and all of your clients can be also under one roof with all of their online marketing tools. So that's really useful. But before I would go deep into that, let me a little bit talk about myself, why I feel like I'm qualified at all to talk about this thing. So in the past 1.5 years, I was literally living and breathing GoHighLevel all day, every day. I have actually built a software as a service solution, which is why I have the experience not to recommend to approach from this point of view. I was building in a non-English speaking country, so that adds a little bit of a caveat to it, but let me expand on that later. I was also managing agency clients within it. We were doing the software as a service selling with leading with education. ClickFunnels was doing that back then, that they were running ads to like the education part, and that was liquidating the ad cost, and so a lot of people would join in. Then the recurring revenue would be the profit margin in the back selling the software. So leading by education and then selling the courses is a really smart thing to do. So that's what we also try to do, building like a cohort-based coaching program for funnel builders and also for entrepreneurs that were building their systems for themselves. So basically, we have approached this from software as a service, agency, and also education perspective, let's say the 3 pillars. On top of this, now I also have experience using GoHighLevel on an international market, because at the moment we are building an agency with a partner of mine specializing for content creators, but the main core software that we are using is GoHighLevel amongst a few others. So after 1.5 years of actively working in GoHighLevel, I have also decided to officially pass the GoHighLevel certified exam. So that's what I actually did. I applied to the certified program, and the written test I've already passed, but I have to wait like 2 or 3 weeks to have an available appointment for an in-person exam. So I can't wait to do that, because I worked so much in this software. So now I feel like I have to have that badge just to make sure that I can call myself a GoHighLevel expert at this point. So after this intro, let's get back to why you should not sell GoHighLevel as a software as a service solution, and honestly what GoHighLevel really is. That's what I'm trying to define in this video, honestly. So I was introduced to this software in the beginning of 2023, in around February or March. And so at the time I was working on an agency with a partner of mine, and one day he came into the office and said that, hey, I found this software which is really interesting. They have all the functions that we are using, calendars, sites, automations, and everything under one roof. And so we could build all of our infrastructures within one software, so it would be way easier to manage our own stuff. We didn't even think at the time to apply this on our agency clients. And we started to a little bit discover it more, and then see that there is also a SaaS plan. So we upgraded and we checked out what it could do. And then we figured that like all of our clients, all functions can be pulled into this one software, not just ours, which is crazy to think about at the time. And so also then we found the SaaS configurator, and then we realized that this could be sold as a software as a service without knowing anything about coding. We just have the SaaS configurator, and then basically we do have a software company without doing any coding or anything. And then we realized that on the US market, there are a lot of like GoHighLevel white labels. We found that it's kind of special developing it in a non-English speaking country in Europe, and we haven't seen much people do this in our own country. So we thought that it's a pretty smart thing to do kind of like a software company, which can be launched very easily. And that's what we did. We reached pretty quickly a couple $1,000s in MRR. We also had the agency activity, and we also had kind of like a funnel builder education and the service-based entrepreneur education angle. So we were not entirely reliant on the software part, but we were trying to do this in kind of like a back-end bowl where we would funnel all the people in whoever we are working with. So we could use this ecosystem for anybody, for any purposes. We would do the consulting and the teaching using this software. We would do the agency services within this software. And then eventually we would also use the SaaS function. So we were approaching from all three angles that we could do this: software, agency, and also education. What we quickly realized is that GoHighLevel is so complex and have so many functions that most of the people that just came in for a trial and started to build their sites and things like that, they were not sticking around for a very long time. So it's not something like ChatGPT or any other AI software as a service solutions where you can upload a picture and then you can generate 5 other, or you can do like a copywriting very, very quickly. Basically, your first moment of truth, let's say, when you experience the success, was not coming very, very quickly. So, I mean, sometimes it came within weeks or months if you were preparing for a campaign or you were doing a webinar. Our clients or people that we were teaching were doing webinars, and it took very, very long time and a lot of work to execute in this new software. And most of the people were used to WordPress, so we thought that it's going to be a much easier software to use than using the WordPress ecosystem, which is kind of true. But still, there were so many functions that they couldn't wrap their head around and couldn't have that instant good feeling and gratification working in this software. So we thought that we definitely have to put education in front, and that's what we did. We were building programs for funnel builders, but we were also working together with the entrepreneurs who were just trying to use the system, and also on the agency angle, we were running most of our clients in there that had multiple 5-figure businesses. It was working pretty solid, but it was working pretty solid as long as the user who actually executed in GoHighLevel was a trained person. So it either had to be us, the agency, or we had to train funnel builder freelancers who knew the system, and then they could sell the system with their service. And then the person who is the entrepreneur, who is the final user of the system, would basically never ever log in, but only the people would log in who actually knows how to use the system. So that was the first big lesson, that just by selling the SaaS without anything else, it's never gonna work. Even that we were using it in a non-English speaking country, I was recording videos how to use the software, and also we were adding very valuable material how you should use the system, not just from a technical standpoint but also from marketing and sales standpoint. So using this experience, you could pivot your business to an education business where your target audience would be mainly technically sophisticated people who likes doing these things, building funnels and building infrastructures. In this case, you would build the future generation of freelancers and agency owners. So that's one way to approach this. It's a pretty solid way. We have also experienced the revenue growth doing this, and it had a double layer of revenue because the software was one part and the education was the other part. So the second thing you could use GoHighLevel for is to supercharge your agency services. What do I mean by that? So basically, we discussed that it cannot be used as a software as a service. I would rather identify GoHighLevel as a tool where you can deliver your agency services by code, or you could also say service in a box or agency service delivered by code. I could phrase this 10 different ways, but the main objective is that once you build something, it's so easy to pull that into another sub-account that if you have a niche market who you are delivering for, the automations, emails, websites, calendars, copy would be very, very similar. And so 70-80% of the work needs to be done only one time. But then the second time, when you onboard a new client, you can basically pull those resources into their account, and then you can just adjust the final things. And so this could exchange a lot of manual work. You could reduce the number of employees or contractors that you are working with, because these things needs to be built once and then replicated infinite amount of times. This way you are working with the final user, the entrepreneur, who is either a content creator or have any sort of other business. I mean, literally from a brick and mortar type of business to content creators, you can do anything within GoHighLevel. So let's say you are working with a moving company or an auto repair shop or whatever other local businesses. You can connect their Google Business account, you can make automations using AI, you can have the missed call text back function, because you can rent phone numbers from the system which can be used for all kinds of different automations. You also have the membership sites, which opens up tools for a separate niche for content creators, course creators. So you can approach almost for any kind of service businesses. In my experience, the e-commerce shop is not that sophisticated so far, so I would not use this system just now. In middle of 2024, I would not use this for e-commerce stores because the functions are not that well developed. Also, they do have an integration with Shopify, which could make it much easier because the webshop engine could be Shopify and all the rest of the marketing activity could be led from GoHighLevel. But I believe it's more well designed for service-based businesses so far. So in summary, the second way of doing this thing is to make your agency activity and service much more easily and more efficiently deliverable to your clients. Which brings us to the third way of working with GoHighLevel, which is using the SaaS plan and basically making your service deliverable immediately by code, which is naturally going to come actually from the second option that we talked about, because once you make your agency activity so efficient, then you will have so many deliverables, so many materials, and if you package up in like a service in a box and then you make a couple of videos how to do that, then you can make it very applicable to even a non-technical entrepreneur that can just do it by themselves. So once you reach that point with your agency, then it can be almost like a SaaS, but you have to keep in mind that it's not a SaaS because you are not delivering a software as a service that's done by GoHighLevel, but you're rather delivering an agency service, or let's say like a marketing and sales ecosystem service automatically by your agency. So if hypothetically your client would figure out that you are using a GoHighLevel white label, they would not care because they just get so much extra pre-built systems for their market and for their niche that they would not pay GoHighLevel even if they could do so for I don't know, $100 for the standard plan, but you could charge them for like $200, $300, $400, $500 a month. And even though they know it's built on GoHighLevel, the extra, let's say, intellectual property or the deliverables or the pre-built frameworks and infrastructures that is specifically built for their market with your experience, they would still pay that extra 3, 4, 5 times of cash monthly because it's built for their specific business. So all in all, GoHighLevel is not a SaaS, but it's rather a packaged up agency service or service in a box delivered to the clients by code. And I left one specific exception to the end, which is literally SaaS within GoHighLevel. So basically how GoHighLevel is built up is very similar to the WordPress infrastructure, where you have a ton of plugins that you can pull in, which is developed by other people. And then it's based on the WordPress infrastructure, but it's like small SaaS companies within the big SaaS company. GoHighLevel have this menu called App Marketplace, which consists of hundreds of different small apps, small plugins that are developed specifically within the GoHighLevel ecosystem. So if you are a software developer that's also familiar with GoHighLevel and the marketing landscape, then you can find potentially really good gaps in the market that could be fulfilled. So let's say there's a specific phone provider in a specific country, and then you would make like an API small microservice, and then you would just build it here. You could make it for free, or you could make it a paid version, or you can make it both. And then in this case, it's literally a software as a service because the service you build is actually software, not like a marketing framework. So this is a specific example, which is mainly for coders. As you can see, this market is also pretty large because there are hundreds of apps developed already. So if this is something that is in your expertise, I would recommend to approach this from a small software as a service business standpoint. You would build your plugin here, and then this could be literally sold to people within GoHighLevel. With that being said, that's my 1.5 years of experience working with GoHighLevel, building 2 businesses on top of GoHighLevel, working with dozens of agency clients, teaching dozens of funnel builders in GoHighLevel. Hope these 3+1 tips that I just gave you will help you along your journey. See you in the next video.